It's a 4-year-old boy named Kenji, sitting on a tatami mat in a small preschool in Kyoto. In front of him is a single rice cracker. His teacher just stepped out. He looks at the cracker and then he just folds his hands and waits. It is not a staged experiment. It is not some elite school. It's a regular Tuesday morning in a regular Japanese preschool. And this kind of thing happens thousands of times a day across Japan. And if you're a parent in the West, watching your 3-year-old completely fall apart because you gave them the wrong color cup, you're probably asking the same question a lot of people ask when they first see Japanese kids. Why are they so different? It is not genetics, it's not strictness. It's actually a philosophy, one so quietly radical that most Western parents have never even heard of it. Let's start with the word that doesn't exist in English. Kannin. It doesn't just mean waiting, it means the dignified acceptance of discomfort as a normal part of life. Not the absence of frustration, the ability to hold frustration without being wrecked by it. Japanese parents aren't trying to protect their kids from hard feelings, they are teaching them that hard feelings are actually a teacher. That's one of the most important skills you can build. Then there is Gaman, enduring the hard stuff with dignity and grace. And here is the thing, kids don't learn this from being just told about it. They absorb it from watching the adults around them. Parents model it every day, and kids mirror what they see. And the third one, this is the one that really changes things, is Mimamoru. It means watching over a child from a distance without stepping in. Picture a Japanese mom watching her toddler struggle to open a container. She doesn't rush over, she just watches. She holds space and trusts him to figure it out. And that one practice, it rewires everything because patience can't be taught through a lesson. It only grows through actually experiencing it. Now, here is where it gets a little uncomfortable because we need to talk about the West. For the past few decades, Western parenting culture has basically been optimizing for one thing: make the discomfort stop as fast as possible. Kid cries, hand them a screen. Kid's bored, schedule something. Kid gets frustrated, swoop in and fix it. And look, this comes from love. Parents have been told by an entire industry that stimulation equals development, that boredom is bad, that a crying kid means you're falling. But here is what the research actually shows. A study from the University of Washington tracked 300 kids from ages 3 to 7 and found that children who were allowed to work through mild frustration on their own had dramatically better self-regulation and emotional control by age 7. And a separate study from Tohoku University in Japan compared 4-year-olds in Japanese preschools using Mimamoru-style approaches with 4-year-olds in Western high-intervention preschools. The Japanese kids scored 40% higher on delayed gratification tasks and showed way lower stress responses to minor setbacks. The difference wasn't temperament, it was what the environment had trained them to expect. What their environment had trained them to expect. Western kids have been trained to expect rescue, and the brain picks up on this incredibly fast. Within the first 2 years of life, a child has already built a working model of how the world responds when they're upset. If rescue always shows up in seconds, the brain never builds its own internal rescue system. It just outsources patience to the parent. And then one day the parent isn't quick enough, or the screen isn't there, and the kid has nothing to fall back on because nothing was ever needed before. Japanese parents get something that Western culture has kind of quietly forgotten. The goal isn't a happy child right now. The goal is a capable adult in 20 years. And the road between those two things runs straight through learning to sit with discomfort without falling apart. So what does this actually look like at home? 3 things you can start today. The 3 breath pause. Next time your toddler gets frustrated, can't open something, can't reach something, can't make something work, don't move for 3 slow breaths. Just watch. That's it. That's Mimamoru in its simplest form. You're not abandoning them, you're giving their brain a few seconds to try its own solution. And most of the time, within those 3 breaths, the kid either figures out or calms down enough to try again. The meltdown never comes, not because it was pushed down, but because it was never actually needed. Replace the rescue reflex with the observation reflex. Instead of moving your hands, move your attention. Get down to their level. Make eye contact. Say quietly, I see you working on that. That's all. Those 5 seconds and doing 3 things at once. I'm here. I trust you. This is not an emergency. A calm, present, not intervening parent is basically telling a child's nervous system, we're okay. And a kid whose nervous system believes that will surprise you with what they can handle. Next, build waiting into your day on purpose, not as punishment, just as normal life. Let them wait 2 minutes before snack while you finish what you're doing. Sit in silence in the car for 10 minutes without a screen. Stand in a line without handing them your phone. Japanese kids do this constantly on trains, in temples, just in the everyday rhyme of life. It's not a big deal to them because it's always been normal. Every small weight is a rep. Every rep builds the muscle. And that muscle compounds over years into something really beautiful. A kid who's easier to teach, easier to raise, and honestly easier to be. And one last thing. Japanese parents who do all of this are not cold, not distant. The Tohoku researchers specifically noted that Japanese preschool teachers scored the highest of all groups on warmth. They just showed it differently, not by making hard things disappear, but by genuinely believing their child could get through them. That quiet, unspoken faith. I know you can do this. I'm not going to take that from you. That might actually be the most loving thing a parent can offer. Kenji is still sitting there, 4 minutes in, hands in his lap. He glances at the cracker, then at the light coming through the window, long pale rectangles across the floor. He watches the light. He breathes. He waits, and when the teacher comes back and says he can eat, he smiles. Not the wild, relieved smile of a kid who barely made it. The quiet, complete smile of a kid who knew the whole time he was going to be fine. If this shifted something for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe. There is a lot of more coming on how the world's wisest cultures raise kids who are genuinely, quietly, deeply capable. See you in the next one.